What is happening, y'all? Cowboy here, and today I'm bringing you a preview of Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. Now, when we first saw this announced, it was definitely something that caught my eye. I've never been too big on Prince of Persia as a franchise, but hearing that they were rebooting it as a Metroidvania immediately caught my attention because that's obviously a genre I'm a huge fan of. And I think the footage is going to speak for itself today. So I have 20 minutes of footage I can bring you. This is all very early game. What you're seeing right now is actually the start of the game. And I'm going to be going through just kind of showing off some of the early mechanics, some of the exploration, a couple of the early bosses, and just sharing my overall opinions. And first off, I've really got to get it out front. This is probably one of the most impressive previews I have seen. And I'm not saying this exaggerating. I've played a lot of games at preview events, and this is one that I finished, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to need this code, like, right now to jump into this. So obviously, the start of January is going to pop off, because this is going to be a ton of fun. But in general, I think one of the big things is, lately I feel like Ubisoft has kind of been in a bit of a lull. You know, a lot of their games are very samey. They follow kind of the same DNA, and I think a perfect example of that is the Avatar game. There's nothing inherently bad about it, but it very much is Far Cry with Avatar. And so playing this was like a complete breath of fresh air because it is not something I would have expected from Ubisoft. Now, obviously, they do have some experience in this format, things like Rayman and whatnot, but we haven't seen games like that from them in ages now, you know, 7+ years, I think. And so this was, I mean, honestly, this completely surpassed my expectations. Tons of really tight mechanics going on here. You can see this is like the tutorial boss, so they slowed things down there to show the like critical parries you can get. But, you know, tight combat, tight movements, combo potential, special abilities, map exploration. Like, I'm coming fresh off of multiple Metroidvanias, and pretty much everything I expect from those games, this had the boxes checked. And not only that, but it had the boxes checked within like the first, you know, within just the preview of what I had a chance to play. So, I mean, the footage is really going to speak for itself, I think, but either way, we got 20 minutes of gameplay, showing off the bosses, the exploration, like I said, and I'm just going to kind of share my general thoughts as the game plays in the background. So, to start, I think one of the big things, at least I noticed first jumping into this, was just how tight the movement was. I think in a lot of Metroidvania, sometimes there's like a little bit of a delay in terms of your character, you know, like swapping from left to right or getting the jump. And everything was incredibly fluid here. Like, I mean, I would jump, I would hit a platform, I would dodge, I would parry. Everything was exactly where it should be in terms of timing. And this is something that immediately stood out. You know, I'm obviously a very combat-centric person, so being able, like right there, you know, get the enemy, kick it up into the air, juggle it, knock it down, get a parry, go into an execution, like, and this is nuts to me, because like I said, this is first 30 minutes. And these are just your fundamentals. This isn't even considering like enhanced abilities we're going to get later or using special abilities or things like that. This is, you know, hey, this is the basics. So when the fundamentals are good, the rest of it I think just falls into place. Moving on from there, outside of the fundamentals, we did have the ability to unlock a couple of different specials as we played. I had one that was like a very offensive special and another that was more defensive that would like create an aura on the ground that I could use to heal. So there's going to be a variety of specials. I think in total the tree showed, I want to say it was like 9 or 12 different abilities that we could choose from, and I think we're able to have 3 on at any given time. So definitely a little bit of special usage. Obviously, a big emphasis on getting perfect parries or doing perfect dodges. There are certain attacks that are unparryable, and there are certain attacks that there's an emphasis around parrying, almost like Perilous Strikes in Sekiro, where the whole thing is if you parry that, it's going to give you a big window of opportunity to get in damage, usually some type of critical attack. So these are obviously mechanics that I'm a big fan of in games. In terms of just general Metroidvania mechanics, obviously a lot of very basic stuff, unlocking shortcuts, finding little tidbits of lore. The map is probably one of the most impressive things in the game, but we're going to talk about that a little bit later. I kept in a cutscene going more in depth into the map and how that functions, because that was something that just blew my mind. The system that they have in place for exploration is the best I've ever seen in a Metroidvania. Like, no question about it. It's gonna just, you're gonna be like, holy shit, this is fucking awesome when we get to it. So moving on from that, though, another thing I want to talk about that was really enjoyable here is the pacing. So I think in Metroidvanias there is a very fine line between boss gameplay and exploration gameplay. Obviously, a huge element in these games is going to be exploring and uncovering the world, but at the same time, I want a fair amount of bosses. I remember there was one indie Metroidvania, I don't remember what it was exactly, but we were playing it a while ago on an indie showcase, and I was like an hour into the game, and the only thing I had found was like the tutorial boss, and everything else was just exploration. You know, we weren't gaining new abilities, we weren't uncovering anything potent. It was like an hour of just exploring through zones, and I'm like, all right, you know, this is fun, I'm enjoying these zones, but like, where's, you know, it doesn't feel like there's a sense of progression here. And on the other hand, this, I got the complete opposite vibe. The preview I played, I want to say it was roughly 2 hours, because I didn't want to do too much. I didn't want to like spoil a ton of the game, but I had, I believe it was 5 or 6 different bosses I fought. We got one core mechanic in terms of traversal that we picked up. We got a secondary weapon in terms of the bow that we picked up. We had 2 special abilities that we had picked up. And at least from looking at the skills in the tree and everything that we get, it doesn't seem like they're front-loading everything. It seems like there's definitely a lot of room to grow. But at the same time, seeing how much we're getting early is definitely something that got me excited to see where things were going to go with this game. So, coming up in just a second here, we unlock the map for the game. And on top of that, we unlock a certain ability with the map that is phenomenal. Like, hands down, like I said, this is probably one of the best implementations of exploration I've ever seen in a Metroidvania. So, for this part, I'm going to leave in my first reaction, because this is unreal. Just get ready for this.
All here. We're in search of soldiers like us. Our prince is being led by a general. Have you seen anyone like that?
A prince? There hasn't been a prince here in so long. I've only seen you. Well, if you've lost your friend in Mount Calf, then you're going to need an Eye of the Wanderer.
What's that?
It's a very rare, very ancient thing. Go on, try it. Here, I might as well show you a neat trick to remember places on Mount Calf.
Allows you to capture images. Full of unreachable passages and treasures which you can access once you found new abilities. It's important to memorize all these places. Using memory shards to capture an image of the environment will automatically be saved on your map. Don't forget to capture images of your surroundings regularly to add them to the map and come back later. I wonder how to do that. Oh, press and hold down. Okay. So I just... That is super dope. Oh my god. Like, oh, what is this? Oh, I need double jump to get over there. That is amazing.
I don't know your name.
And that may seem like it's something simple, but man, I'll tell you what, after just getting through Blasphemous 2 and then The Last Faith, that is phenomenal. Like, no lie, that is probably one of the best features I've ever seen surrounding exploration in a Metroidvania. Because we have a full marker system with the map, so we can put where specific stuff was, whether it's going to be like a treasure, an elite enemy, or a side quest, or whatever the case may be. But on top of that, we are able to capture specific moments on the map so that at any time we can look at it and immediately be reminded, yeah, this is double jump, this is what we're going to have to do. So we have 100 different markers we can use, pretty good variety on those markers themselves, and then on top of that we're able to save images of the environment to the map itself. We have a checklist up in the corner that's detailing the stuff we can find in the area. Like, for someone that likes trying to complete stuff in Metroidvanias, dude, this is, like I said, it is going down the list and it is checking all the boxes of things that I want to see. And I think what's funny is, up till that point, that was the biggest thing I thought about the game. I was like, man, I'm really enjoying this, but Metroidvania with no map, it seems kind of rough, you know, how am I going to remember stuff? And then, you know, the game's like, oh, a map, you say? What if we give you a map and you can record memories on that map? So I was like, hell yeah. Talking about some other stuff that I did want to see that I did initially, I know as we kill enemies, the little gems they drop, I was thinking that the leash distance on those is a little bit low. Talking to them at least, there's an amulet you can get that will increase that. And kind of on that note, there's a couple different amulets. So we do have a little bit of customization in the gameplay. Just in terms of ones that I found while playing through, there was one that just gave me an extra health bar, so I have 3 health bars right now, and those aren't like single hit health bars. You can take multiple hits to those, so it's not like 3 hits and you're dead or anything. But I have one that gave me a 4th health bar that I'd only have access to when I had freshly respawned. There was one, I believe, that increased my blue bar gauge down in the bottom right, so like increased how fast I gained the ability to do my special. There was the one they mentioned that I didn't find that would increase the leash distance. But like as you can see, there's some of those little I guess triangles down there that I need to go pick up real fast. Breakable walls, obviously. So I mean, there's just content on top of content on top of content here, and you know, I know it sounds like I'm just doing nothing but praising the game, but like honestly, I was so impressed by what they had to offer for it being just a preview of the game that it blew my mind. Like, I mean, I can't, you know, coming off of Blasphemous and coming off of Last Faith, I think the last time I played a Metroidvania where things were this tight and this well put together was probably Hollow Knight. And, you know, that's not a dig at Blasphemous or Blasphemous 2 by any means, because I loved both of those games, and I thoroughly enjoyed Last Faith. But, you know, I feel like a lot of the Metroidvanias I've been playing lately, the more indie ones, mechanics aren't quite as tight as I would like. And it's those little things, you know, being able to track where stuff may have been missed on the map, being able to create images. At the start of the game, you can choose between a more guided experience. So how I just saw there where I pulled up the map and there was like an icon being like, hey, head towards this way. You can choose to have that on, or you can choose to completely have it off. If you are somebody that struggles with gameplay, there's even accessibility options like customizing the tightness of the parry, or customizing enemy health, you know, being able to tweak the difficulty to something that is going to fit you in particular. And so there's a lot going on here where not only are they, you know, checking every box that I want to see in a Metroidvania, but they are also making it so more people can enjoy the game. I think that's always something that's nice to see in the gaming space. So talking a little bit about the boss design, as we're fighting the undead prisoner right now, the bosses were something that I really found myself enjoying, because even though we're early on, this guy has a relatively simple moveset trying to hit you with those slams. They're coming out fast. You have to be on top of your reactions, getting out of the way. Right now, those red attacks, those are the ones that are unparryable. So the only option is to time your dodge. The yellow flash there, those are unique parry opportunities. I don't think I actually got it against the undead prisoner here, but when you do manage to hit the parry on those, you get a unique cutscene that plays out, and then you can follow up that with like a unique attack animation that'll happen. So that's pretty cool. It just adds to the flashiness, if you will, the showiness of the gameplay, and that's something that I thought was really cool. It just kind of added to the vibe, added to the experience. You can see there I mistimed the parry, got knocked back a huge amount of health, but still managed to take the guy out. But either way, there's still a good chunk to this video, so I'm just going to let things play out with the original audio that I had, and just kind of let y'all take it all in.
Hey, wait!
Father, what's happening to me?
Wait! Who are you? You just disappeared. I've seen these trees along my journey, but you're the first to speak.
No. I'm not a whack-whack tree. I live in it. There are many whack-whack trees across the citadel. Their branches are a refuge for us, and also a great help for travelers like you.
Yes, I've noticed.
These trees have always been here, since the start of all life. Their roots are deep, nourished by the pride, but now Here.
You there?
This time,
Do you sense it?
all of Mount Carf is cursed.
Cursed.
I don't recognize your armor.
We've come from across the seas to attack the palace of...
King Darius, the palace here is deserted.
So long? Quick. I don't know what I have. Help me. There's nothing natural about the...
I can just avoid the poison. And slide out of the way when he does that. I can win this. Get parried! I'm right here. Come on, big guy. Think I'm gonna walk into that poison? Guess again. Poison, but we got it. Nope. Oh, that was very unfortunate. No, no, no. Damn, that thing goes far. Gotta wait out the poison. So kind of you to give me a parry. with that, the Manticore is down. So that's where we're going to wrap up our preview footage for now. Like I said, this is going to be a phenomenal game to kick off January with. So either way, let me know your thoughts below. I personally can't wait to dive all the way into this game. And, you know, obviously this is getting a full Let's Play at launch. But regardless, we're wrapping things up here for now on the preview footage, and I'll catch you next time.